Welcome to Zero Trust, What You're Saying, your monthly roundup of zero trust and adjacent security news, curated just for you. We break down the biggest headlines, share our expert takes, and cut through the noise so you get what matters most. All the news links are waiting for you in the show notes, so grab your coffee, tune out the buzzwords, and let's get into the real story, right here on the Zero Trust Journey podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome to our monthly Zero Trust Journey news segment. In this segment, we'll give you a quick and rapid, all the curated news we have gathered for you from the last month, which is July 2025. So with me today, I have my co-host Tirna. Tirna, why don't you give a quick introduction to our audience since this is the first time they'll hear from you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Tiernan O'Malley. I'm currently with Framework Security. We're a risk and compliance consultancy. I've spent my past years kind of on the sales, marketing, operations side of cybersecurity. And yeah, happy to be here. I'm looking forward to our conversations.
So let's do our speedy news read. So on July 29th, CISA.gov, they published Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, that's CISA. That releases part 1 of Zero Trust microsegmentation guidance. I think this is the first release of microsegmentation in Zero Trust part 1. There will be more sequels to it, but this really focuses on microsegmentation as critical to prevent lateral movement and reduce attack surface. This also serves as the guidance intended initially for federal agencies, but applicable across all industries. As I said, this is the first installment, but there's going to be more to follow.
Absolutely. And then going into another very interesting topic, July 21st, one of the most compelling developments this month comes from the Hacker News, which explored the growing role of AI in zero trust implementations. The article highlights how predictive, generative, and agentic AI are being leveraged across the 5 CISA zero trust pillars. Predictive models are being used for dynamic trust scoring in real time, evaluating everything from user behavior to device posture. Generative AI is improving efficiencies for security teams by automating triage, scripting, and data summarization. While agentic AI goes even further, autonomously orchestrating tasks like privilege revocation and access adjustments without manual intervention.
Cool, actually, because a lot of time we hear that where does AI play in the role of zero trust or vice versa. So this news is pretty cool, actually, for those to follow.
Absolutely. Reports are showing that over 80% of organizations plan to adopt zero trust by 2026. So definitely something to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, and that's again is turn on. In my opinion, a lot of time we hear zero trust is still a buzzword, marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I see these stats, 80% and surveys and research, I think it's here to stay. And a lot of people are realizing that zero trust is the strategy that they want to adopt.
Yep, absolutely. Strategy and culture, just bringing it all together. So then moving into our next, July 16th, the Trump administration focuses on Zero Trust 2.0, cybersecurity efficiencies. In a recent briefing with the Information Security and Privacy Advisory Board, Nick Polk of the Office of Management and Budget described the Trump administration's forthcoming cybersecurity blueprint, dubbed Zero Trust 2.0. Unlike the comprehensive federal Zero Trust strategy introduced in 2022, this next phase emphasizes targeted improvements with measurable impact. Rather than broad mandates, agencies are being encouraged to invest strategically in a few high priority areas to ensure maximum return on cybersecurity investment and reduce duplication.
This again is another testimonial to exactly what I was talking about a minute ago, where zero trust is here to stay. If we are already working on zero trust 2.0, that means we have enough evidence and data that we need to mature and evolve from Zero Trust 1.0, right? So again, for those who are still thinking about Zero Trust, think of this as a strategy and consider it.
As it keeps getting reiterated, we're really seeing that adaptation and people are really welcoming it. So definitely, as you said, over the years.
On July 3rd, TS2.tech, they reported major cybersecurity and Zero Trust developments. So in this one, they talked about comprehensive review of incidents and trends, major breaches, ransomware waves, and regulatory shifts. They highlighted the transition of zero trust from niche concept to mainstream enterprise architecture. And this makes me happy, honestly, when I see or read on any of this, where it's not something that's discussed in smaller circles now. It's a mainstream conversation and covers both policy developments and vendor innovations during the period.
And you're talking about how it's really broadening with it being culture, with it being strategy, and just being picked up generally. So, another great example that I'd like to bring up is Rhode Island. The state of Rhode Island, it's just really encouraging because they're not just only implementing zero trust, but they're embedding it at the cultural level. And I think that's the piece we're always talking about in security. It's not just technology, it's people and process. So watching them build out that center of excellence in Rhode Island is really inspiring to see.
We covered this one in the last episode as well, where NIST published the 19 zero trust architectures. This is working with different vendors who actually believe in zero trust, and they're building the solutions and platforms around that. This is not just a lab demonstration. This is really working on actually giving you the demonstration of how zero trust architectures are created with different technologies. Again, we covered that last time as well. This is again covered during the July news, so wanted to bring it up again and surface it for you.
Absolutely. And this long-awaited release bridges the gap between zero trust theory and execution. So it's offering IT and security teams detailed examples of how they can operationalize zero trust across real enterprise environments. These environments use artificial intelligence to consistently monitor, adapt, and secure endpoints and workflows, often without human intervention. It's a really powerful shift that reinforces why zero trust strategies must evolve to align with AI-first architectures.
And on July 21st, IT Pro actually reported engineers are bypassing legacy controls. Scale Commission survey in late July found 83% of IT and engineering professionals bypass security controls to get work done. I think I am one of those 83%, by the way, with only 29% using identity-based access. Again, the solutions like the legacy VPNs and siloed tool stacks create inefficiencies, highlighting the need for modern ZTNA and identity-first architectures. We covered that a little bit with the session with Anupam, VP of Product Management from Palo Alto, where again he bolstered that conversation where it cannot be the traditional technologies fitting into your zero trust architecture. You have to look into modern, innovative solutions that can actually support your architecture. So the findings made it clear that this is not where leaders want to be, so that their IT people are escaping or skipping those security controls that they are setting it up. So through those zero trust network access, ZTNA was pointed to be an aspirational process for respondents to adopt. Just 29% said they use identity-based access as their primary model. I think that's a bit concerning in my book, but at the same time, if the top-down approach is that here is the username password or here is the username password and an MFA, I think that talks about the company maturity and zero trust architecture. At the end of the day, it's not something you can achieve it overnight. Gradually and continuously, you keep working on it.
Yep, absolutely. And looking at the bigger picture, I mean, legacy controls are really holding teams back. And security leaders are facing a clear dilemma: enforcing rigid policies that slow down teams or accepting risky workarounds that compromise security posture. So unfortunately, many organizations are still relying on tools and methods designed for a perimeter-based world that no longer exists.
Well, thank you, Turner. That wraps up our July edition of the Zero Trust News Rundown. Thank you for listening. We do this every month, straightforward updates, expert analysis, no marketing fluff. If you found it useful, share it with a colleague, and we'll catch you next month with more updates from the front lines of Zero Trust Journey. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Victor. Thank you all.
That's a wrap on this Zero Trust journey. Now it's your turn. Step into the spotlight, share your story, and be part of the journey. Subscribe to Zero Trust Journey on LinkedIn for the latest news, events, and giveaways. Until next time.